morning and welcome to We Are Live. Chris Denman live in St. Louis at Midcoast Studio Grand Center. Excited to be here. Check out midcoast.media for more information on what we do and how we do it. Today we've got Chef Liz Schuster stopping by. She's going to have some fun with us. Do some Make It Racist, fair or foul, you know the drill. But first we'll say hello to Tommy the intern. He's in studio. The great Travis Terrell is in New York. We'll see where he's at. Oh, apartment in Brooklyn. Good morning, Travis.
Namaste, my young Midwesterners.
We're Midwesterners now. He said that in a condescending tone. I picked that up. Chris Gardner's the producer. Hello, Chris.
Good morning, gentlemen in the loo. And good morning, gentleman. A very gentle man. It's because of the cocoa butter that he puts on his skin.
Oh, that's
that makes it smooth and gentle. Travis Terrell. Good morning, sir.
Namaste.
I don't know what that means. What does that mean?
It means may the
Peace
force
be the
with
journey.
you.
Peace be the journey. And good morning, walnuts.
How you doing today, Denman?
Fine till he does this walnuts thing every day. It's troublesome.
Out of breath. I just had a cigarette.
Okay, I like that part. Did you fall over the front of a scooter today?
No.
Okay, good.
I didn't like the brakes on this one either this morning,
Oh,
but
no.
I was very cautious.
Too touchy?
Yeah, they had a little squeak to them as well.
Do
So
you-
I didn't necessarily like that too much.
Do you need to start bringing a kit with you, like a little mechanic's bag?
That's not my job.
Okay.
I
Well,
wouldn't be surprised.
You're the one who ends up with a fractured orbital when you go over the front of it again. But all right.
I wouldn't be surprised if he started wearing a fanny pack.
Yeah, that's
Been
a
considered.
logical next move.
I've actually considered going with fanny pack and ponytail here in recent days.
It's a whole new personality.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you?
Gardner, you never told me what Jess said about you falling over the scooter yesterday.
It was, I texted her after it happened, and she was just concerned for my well-being, and then I told her later in the day exactly how it happened, and she was just laughing, but it was a kind of a laugh of like a, oh my God.
Bless your heart.
Are you sure you're okay?
All right.
Kind of, laughing at the ridiculousness of the whole situation.
Well,
What was Chris's reaction when you came into the studio? Because was he concerned? Did Chris get you a Band-Aid, some rubbing alcohol?
I think Chris he did that face he does sometimes, where it's just a, that face? Like
I didn't know.
Chris,
if
do the
you-
face. Do the face, Chris.
That's it.
There it is.
It's like I want to understand, but I also
it's
want to.
processing.
Yeah, there is. There's an hourglass like the old computers would do whenever your mouse would
Do
change
they
into
still
an
have that?
hourglass. I don't think so. Tommy, you ever seen a mouse turn into an hourglass?
Yes.
Oh.
I get that face more than anybody in the office. So,
What? Like, give me an example of say something you think will elicit that emotion.
hey, look at this lock of Jacqueline Kennedy's hair.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're on.
That'll
Yeah.
do it. That's
He's got
it.
it figured out.
That's a real example.
It's the same face he gives when he hears something out the window while he's working at the desk in the work area. And it's
I
like,
want to know what's going on.
Oh, I
and
understand.
I just, I apologize that the brakes are squeaky.
You're like my dog when he hears a mailman.
Yeah, that's an
Mhm.
accurate comparison.
Why can't it be a female man?
Ooh, good question.
Good point. That's a good question, Gardner.
Male
Tommy,
person.
the answer?
Because I just went with what I've always gone with, and maybe that's wrong. So male person.
I always never understood why they still call, like, if it's a woman and they say alderman still. That's one I don't.
Megan Green does
Sometimes they don't.
She says alder person
Yeah,
or alder woman.
but
I've heard older person and older woman.
But when you look at how it's written, like according to like AP style and stuff like that, I still see in the newspaper and articles. That's why I never know what to say, because I'm like, well, in journalism they still say alderman even though it's a woman. So I don't know what to do.
Take it up with President Journalism.
I just kind of say, then I just go, the board of aldermen. So I just kind of try and throw a broad
Why would
stroke at
you
it.
would throw abroad?
Ah, damn it.
Damn, that's just violent. Fair or foul
Kind of
today
defeats the point, doesn't it? Never
Yeah.
mind.
of respecting her
Yeah.
and then throwing her down violently. Maybe down some steps like a former governor. Fair or foul today, a prank TV show about screwing with people trying to find work. Why?
Well,
$10 to
Gotten-
Southtown Pub is your prize.
so,
Gotten Maserado.
is that this guy right here?
Yes.
This fella? No,
Hey, it's
he's
the
in-
kid from Stranger Things.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Boy, he's going to hear that till he's 53 years old. Till he plays a serial
Shoot,
killer. or
considering what he's
something.
probably getting paid,
Criminal
I'll
Minds.
be happy to take that.
Yeah, that's a good trade-off. Good point.
So I don't know how far along this is, but apparently he's
It's pretty far along.
going to be hosting a Netflix show, Netflix prank show that focuses on pranking people that are unemployed as they're trying to find work. And
Boy, no other
yeah.
time that I'd rather be screwed with or messed with than when I'm down on my luck, out busting my ass to find more work.
Like you might want to have Tom Duff along with you here to help these people out after whatever you're going to do to them that you do to them. It's just
If they
doesn't seem.
Yeah, if they
I
do,
hope that's not
if they-
I hope there's more to this premise. I really do hope there's more than what we're understanding about this show, because that would be the most tone deaf series perhaps in the history of modern television. I really hope we're just not understanding the premise, and maybe there's like an Oprah Ellen vibe to where like at the end of the prank they get jobs
Right.
of they get their dream job, or they get, I don't know. I really hope there's more to this than what we're getting. But if this is the case, this is pretty disgusting, and we've seen a lot of disgusting things on television.
Yeah, and it's like
Especially you. We've seen your search history.
it doesn't even matter.
Oh yeah.
We've heard about it too. It doesn't even like matter, like because there's the quote unquote outrage or whatever
Outage.
pushback
Outrage. Twitter map.
going on against this right now.
Outage.
But the thing is, does that even really matter? Because we've gotten this far along. So it's like, like, if no one had said anything, like we're like, oh yeah, let's just keep going with this. This sounds great. So it's like we're okay with this in some regards. That makes you want to.
Somebody somewhere in Netflix or somebody part of this production team must have seen something and said, this is really going to be a show. They're going forward with this. And I would
Yeah.
imagine they maybe have shared it with the higher ups, and the higher ups were just like, look, we put X amount of dollars into this. We're going forward with it. And so maybe this is their way of leaking it in hopes of shaming Netflix from getting it off the air. But I really hope this isn't true. And I hope they're not using this kid as a front to allow this show to go forward. I don't understand the trying to do a TV show off the misery of others. I don't understand that whatsoever. I don't see why that would be entertaining, why that would be funny. I'm trying to understand the punchline here. So I really hope we're not. I hope it's more to this that we're getting.
Every serial killer series ever.
Hmm?
Profiting off the misery of others.
Well, they don't get the money though.
Oh, the serial killers they line in their pockets, buddy.
Well, they don't get.
That's
they
right.
Can't
No,
make
they're
money.
rich as hell.
Oh,
You get
that's-
covered on Dateline, you get a check.
That's not true. Don't you bring Keith Morrison into this?
I like how you got real
Yeah, you
serious.
sure did.
Yeah.
Real
If you-
serious.
once
there,
you-
Art.
if
yeah.
you-
If you brought up a serial killer to TV show, oh, that's off
No,
limits.
no, hold on here.
Mhm.
No, back up, buddy. Watch where you're going here.
I'm trying to understand this. I really am. Like I've heard about the story for the last couple of weeks, and I refuse to click on it because I'm almost certain that it's clickbait. I'm almost certain that there's something we're not understanding about this reality
Or they're
TV
not
show.
telling
No
us?
way would you. Yeah, there's something missing. It just
But-
doesn't make sense that you would humiliate people when they are looking for work, trying to support themselves and their families and their dreams. I really find I can't imagine that someone, and I know there have been some dumbass reality TV shows over the last 20 years, but please, God, tell me there was not a studio, at least one that I thought was as smart as Netflix, that someone was in a room and said, yeah, let's greenlight this. I really hope there's more to this show than what we're hearing about.
The thing is, though, I would think they would have a response by now, don't you? That's the
True.
concerning part,
That
right?
would maybe that well actually concerning and or crazy like that could totally mean that there is a redemptive part, and everybody's going to think it's Mormon. Like when,
Or
if
they
you
want
have
to
this
surprise
kid,
us with it.
if you have this kid hosting,
Yeah.
he's like the squishy little love guy.
Yeah.
Like he's a sweet kid, right? He played one, I should say. I don't
Right.
know. Maybe he's a mean kid.
So is this the way to pull us in immediately, knowing
Yeah,
our nature?
absolutely.
And then,
Yeah.
as Chris likes
it's
to say,
attaching a name to the show.
as Chris likes to say, okie doke us at the end here.
That's how it works. That's how it goes. Chestnut.
I'm
checker
hoping it's an
starter.
okie doke.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hoping Chris is correct. I hope it is a checkers chess situation
then
where we're
I do
just
hate when Travis is right though. When I'm like, you guys are idiots. Surely no one would do this. That we are not that bad as a human race. And then it turns out they're like, yeah. And then they pissed on him after they tripped him, and called their mother and told her she had herpes. It's
Hey,
the best show
that's
ever.
the end of the show.
Yeah.
There you go.
That'll do
But
it.
I ain't gonna lie. I may sign up another year for Netflix if that's the show. Oh boy.
but
Ooh,
but
boy.
but then here's the shame of it all. Like, let's say the okie doke is in effect here, and then it's just gonna be, oh, I don't want to watch that.
Yeah.
Then no one's gonna
Like,
watch.
I'm good.
No, give me the one where you're really mean to people.
Oh my God! Did you see the one where the guy freaked out on his way into the McDonald's and punched the camera guy? Like that's what you want to see. I mean, really.
Maybe I'm hoping that it's a show where, yeah, we're led to believe that they're pranking the unemployed, but what they're actually doing is employing the unemployed.
Yeah.
Maybe they're helping them find their jobs, their dream jobs, getting them across the finish line. So maybe it's pulling us in, making us think it's going to be cruel, it's going to be a prank, but maybe the prank is we're actually helping you get the job. Maybe, and again, maybe I'm being naive about this, and maybe I'm just hoping and wishing they wouldn't use this very adorable kid to expose and humiliate people. So
That's a
maybe
good
it's
way
a
to do it,
situation
though.
where they're going to, it would be, but maybe hopefully it's something to the effect where they're like, oh, yeah, I've always wanted this job. And then The Rock shows up and he's like, hey, hire this person. I don't know. I hope it's really not them humiliating human beings.
The way what I read on the description is that the person goes into like their first day, and the day gets increasingly weirder and increasingly more challenging, and that's the prank, which means
Okay.
they've already had
That's
the job,
different.
but
Right.
it's still like
Okay.
ugh.
Yeah, what if it makes them?
It's a
quit?
fine line.
Well, and I
Yeah,
imagine there's probably
yeah, I
a
don't-
consolation prize involved. Isn't there always with those kind
Right.
of shows?
You should
Even
throw
if they
some
give
money.
you your dream job, do you want the like Stranger Things 11-year-old giving you said job? He's like looking at your application. He's like, "I'll be honest with you, your college performance wasn't the best." I'm like, you're an actor. Like, why do I care about this? Like, that could be also awkward.
There's a lot of
Yeah,
potential awkwardness.
Netflix has been pretty smart about their original programming, even the ones that aren't successful as others. So, and I would be very hard pressed. Like they've had a good run on a lot of shows. I wouldn't think someone would say, let's blow this all up by embarrassing a large group of people that watch our programming. Like a very large majority of middle class Americans, even lower middle class Americans, subscribers to Netflix, and it would be a shot in the toe if they were to humiliate that much of a base who watches their programming.
And I mean, Travis, just to show you the popularity of Netflix, some people watch it while they're driving their car. Even I mean,
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
there's some people that do that. Let's be that gripping.
Well, today I listened to an audiobook
Mhm.
by Kelsey Grammer, so read by Kelsey Grammer. So that's it's already better.
What's with
You know
Be sure
what's
to
sad?
hit
In Tommy's head, he thinks he's the smartest person in the room now.
Be sure to hit
I listen to
share
Frasier.
if you've listened to Kelsey Grammer on an audiobook. Travis, can you think of a better
Stephen King,
can
guys.
we think of a better narrator for an audiobook that Tommy would listen to on the way here?
Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah. I saw, what's he, 70 now? Shaft just came out and they did a...
Is he 70 really?
he's
Samuel
70.
Jackson,
Jeez.
70?
Mm-hmm. I
No
believe so.
way.
Believe so. Well, they just did
No,
this
I gotta look this up. No way.
unless
Samuel
whatever
Jackson, 70?
Sunday afternoon programming.
I think you're right, Chris.
Or
Hold
Sunday
on, let me pull
morning.
this bad boy up.
Well, he just had Shaft bomb over the weekend, but the fact that he was playing Shaft at 70 years old is just unbelievable.
Yeah,
So yeah, so that was
Samuel L. Jackson is 70 years old.
Uh huh.
he's
Looks
aged well.
amazing.
Yeah,
Looks
that's not
real good.
Did
fair.
very well.
the more and more I look at things, I mean, I'm the Cox don't age well. This is bad.
Mm.
What,
I'm
doesn't age well?
This
Cox?
is after
Oh, okay.
Bill Bellamy. Seeing Bill Bellamy in here.
Yeah, Bill Bellamy
Oh,
was
God.
sitting a foot away from me, and I'm like, you look like you went to high school with me, and you're 20 plus years older than me, or 20 years older.
Yeah, he had his hairline and he had a fresh cut, and I was
There's a
like,
lot
that
going
son
on.
of a that man ain't aged a day since MTV.
And he had energy too. He's got energy.
Hmm.
Where does that come from?
Yeah, motivation.
They do say, I mean, I know with Samuel L. Jackson, he speaks about this from time to time in interviews. He was a hardcore addict, and essentially his life turned around once he stopped drinking,
It
stopped
wasn't.
doing drugs,
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say it wasn't just
and,
alcohol.
and
Yeah,
no, yeah, it was definitely drugs, and he speaks to it and how he almost lost his career, almost lost his wife, his entire family, and he's very adamant about like never being around alcohol, and that's why he's able to work as much as he does. He says it's because he can't stand the sight of it. It just and then it makes sense. Look at the guy. He
Well, it helps.
hasn't. God, I can't believe he's 70. That's
It
crazy.
helps to replace that with work.
With
A
work,
lot of
yeah.
people will do that.
Being talented helps, yes,
He-
and always getting work and being
Yeah.
able to be a chameleon in every role that you're casting. You're exactly right.
he must have been doing a lot of drugs.
Yeah.
If he's gonna replace it with, if you go drugs for work, like he must have been doing a lot of drugs. If you're talking about the amount of work he's got. Do we have a poll today that we put up yesterday? I don't know if we want to check the results on that or
Yeah, I can pull up the results here.
pull
real
that. The
quick.
melee has to do with your favorite Bretts, everybody. Also,
Mm-mm.
Tom, in the comments about the Stranger Things actor, the irony is that all those Stranger Things kids are going to be unemployed quicker than they realize.
Not Finn Wolfhard. He's in everything.
That kid Finn Wolfhard is literally he is.
There's a little
He's
jealousy
in
in the
everything, man.
voice. Is he getting all the roles you see for yourself?
Man, he's in everything.
Yeah,
Tommy
that
jumped
kid
on
is
that
in
right
everything.
away.
Are we thinking that's because he's a great actor? Because his name's Finn Wolfhard? Like
Yeah.
Well,
that's-
but like
I think that has something to do with it.
the kid also has like a touring band that's actually good. Like it's
What's the band?
I don't remember what it's called, but I
Finn
know
Wolfhard?
Finn Wolfhard.
That
Look
should
up
be
it-
the name of the band.
Look up Finn Wolfhard band.
That sounds like
He's-
a band name.
He's
Yeah.
got one. He tours. He was.
Swedish indie metal.
He's in the
Yeah.
new It movie.
Actually, it'd be Finnish indie metal.
Finish, yeah.
He was in the It movies, and Bill Hader plays the grown-up version of him. Why wouldn't I
He
be
does.
jealous?
Uh-huh.
We're gonna let Tommy work this out throughout the show today. So
Melee results. The question: which Brett likes beer more? Which Brett likes beer more? Brett Hall or Brett Kavanaugh?
I liked beer. I still like beer.
All right. The results: 83 to 17%. 83 to 17%.
we went Blues.
Correct.
Yeah.
Brett Hall wins the melee.
Did you see that shaking out like that, Gardner? Are you surprised?
I thought it'd be a little closer. I wouldn't be surprised Brett Hall winning, just recency bias. But I thought it still would have been, maybe in the 60-40 range.
Who would you have voted for?
I would have voted for Kavanaugh.
I would have voted for Ken.
Yeah.
The guy literally said in front of a Senate committee he loved beer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's ever happened in the history of this country. Has anyone ever gone in front of a Senate committee and said the words "I love beer"?
Sam Adams in the 1800s.
Oh, that's interesting, yeah.
I liked
Tom,
beer.
that's
I
the
still
best
like
answer
beer.
ever.
In the comments, Patrick says Wolfhard's band was in the Weezer "Take on Me" cover video. as
Yeah,
well.
it was. That was.
It was.
Yeah.
Does that
It was.
infuriate you?
It does. I look more like
Finn
Rivers
Wolfhard.
Cuomo than that kid.
Oh no.
Anyway,
How old is he?
he's
Yeah,
like
he's already got
15.
21 acting credits. He's already got 21 acting credits.
Before
He
Stranger
does one of the
Things.
voices on Carmen Sandiego as Tommy pointed out. He's in It, and he'll be in the sequel again. He's apparently going to be in the Addams Family animated series, and he's in the untitled Ghostbusters project.
He
Trying to think of.
he's living. He's doing what I like.
What's you all right? What's
you
going
know,
on?
you know,
Tommy
you-
is
you know who
Tommy's
you sound like?
convulsing over there.
You know who you sound like? You sound like Uncle Trav in New York. Travis just hates anyone with an ounce of success more than him. Is that correct,
It's-
Travis?
Tommy, he also has been a music video director, and Chris, you are correct.
What? It's not that I hate him or I'm jealous of him.
No,
I just want to be him. I envy what he's able to do.
That's a
It's
mature
an
way to put it.
Interesting name though, Finn Wolfhard.
Yeah, that's such a cool
You take a big
fucking
swing.
name.
It's
You
like-
take a big
That's
swing.
adult. That's
he's,
adult.
either
Cool
getting,
name.
he's either getting jammed into lockers or doing exactly what he's doing.
It's like
That's a really cool name.
if I were like
It is.
Dutch moose soft or something. I don't know.
Imagine if I came in and I was like, "Hey, I'm Finn Mosslander." Finn, that's just cool.
Yeah, I'm going.
The kid is only 16 years old.
Oh, I don't
You know what
know
I
who
was
this
doing
kid
when I
is.
was
Gonna rub it in.
16? You know what I was doing when I was 16?
Chicks.
No.
Not having sex.
Yeah, exactly. And he probably is all the time.
I think that's illegal to
Oh,
assume.
there's no doubt.
He looks like a Finn. Yeah,
I
but a Finn.
Finn's
to
a
me
dope
is-
ass name.
Maybe Mosslander and Brown could star in my new Amazon show, Stranger Toms. Chris here, everybody.
when I was 16, I was in a play called Cinderella. I had no speaking lines, and I got kicked out of a number because I couldn't get the dance down.
That's
That's what I was
Oh,
doing when I
Tommy.
was 16.
How did you dance in the wheelchair?
It was post wheelchair.
Oh, okay, good.
Can we see the dance, the choreography?
No,
maybe?
I don't remember how it went, but I know I had to like spin around like a pole, but I couldn't get it right. Like I couldn't get the timing of the pole spin right. So
Like, were you too fast on the spin or too slow?
It was a little bit of both.
Oh, so the pole
I was just
gave
bad
you,
at spinning.
See,
I had to like around the pole. Why are we? We don't have to
Just-
focus on
Danny
this.
Danny
Oh, we
says
could,
it's a great
though.
Ascot All-Star name.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that could definitely fit into the Ascot All-Star category. And I know we say Finn and think Finnish, but I mean Finn, very Irish name too. Very Irish name.
All of those Stranger Things kids have pretty cool names, though.
I don't think that's
They really do.
that's not a coincidence. I
Finn
think casting
Wolfhard,
directors probably get a
Gatton,
little romantic. with that.
Matarazzo, Millie Bobby Brown.
Yeah.
Those are cool names.
Like Wolfhard is a more interesting part of that name than Finn, I think. I don't understand how.
I've never
Wolfhard-
seen
Winona Ryder.
I've never seen a show be carried. Like I don't know, when was the last time we've seen a show carried by a very young cast?
Gossip Girl?
Can we Gossip Girl maybe?
Even shows
Really?
that are supposed to have young casts don't normally cast them. Like, what was the show with James Franco and Seth Rogen? Freaks and Geeks.
I mean, they were in their
Freaks and
20s.
Geeks.
Yeah. See, even they
I
were.
would say they're in
And
their 20s.
excuse me,
They were-
excuse me. You mean the show with Jason Segel? Is that what you were trying to say?
He was there.
He's a treasure.
That is the proper response, Travis.
But but like even those guys, they weren't like high schoolers when they
Yeah.
were.
And Gossip Girl was
supposed to
probably
be.
the same way. I can't
I
imagine.
mean, these kids are Finn Wolfhard 16, so they started Stranger Things. I think he was like 12, 13. So that's pretty
Yeah.
impressive for kids that age to be carrying a phenomenon like Stranger Things. Like the writing's brilliant, of course, but it's the kids. We tune in because the kids are pretty damn awesome. And
Calpurnia.
that says a lot about how well they can. Yeah, Calpurnia is the name of their band,
Like
or
Like
Finn's
what-
band.
Winona Ryder was that pulled everybody in, and then the kids kept it going.
Yes.
Which was cool.
Agreed.
That and the guy.
And then David Harbour, out of nowhere, exploded.
show.
He's awesome.
Friend of the show.
Is he?
He is awesome.
Was
Check
He is
the
a friend of
interview.
the show.
Oh, he was on.
Mhm.
That's awesome.
2016.
That's awesome.
I love whenever Tommy hears things that he deems cool that we
Mm-hmm.
did 4 years ago, and he's like, "Wait, maybe I don't hate you guys."
Yeah.
You can hear it in his voice. he hits the brakes right before he calls us hacks.
I mean, nobody's been as cool since I started, but you know.
Yeah.
Oh no, I take that back. There's been a couple.
Bite your tongue about Sinbad.
Yeah.
Sinbad was here. Brian Posehn was amazing.
Yeah, I was
Anyway.
going to say, you keep up this attitude. There's a certain band that might be playing Fair St. Louis that might be on the show that maybe you won't be able to come in that day.
Oh.
Arcade
you
Fire's
jump off?
playing
Would you
Fair
jump off
St.
a
Louis?
cliff?
I would jump off a cliff.
Oh
if
shit!
What we talked about yesterday happened,
Oh.
and it doesn't.
What'd you say, Travis?
I thought Arcade Fire was playing Fair St. Louis.
Oh my god!
I mean, close enough.
That'd be
Flaming Lips
great.
are, and we're efforting Mr. Wayne, the lead singer of Flaming Lips, right now. So we'll see. And I think Tommy might explode if Wayne videos in.
if Arcade Fire was playing Fair St. Louis, which they probably wouldn't right
It's the
now.
only option as far as festivals.
Yeah, but if we had Win Butler in, Travis, you'd have to video in because we could probably do an entire hour podcast on basketball with him. I mean, we could just break down the NBA. You would love it. You would absolutely love it.
Lord knows, I love breaking down the NBA.
Oh yeah, I know. That's
Yep.
all.
Why you say it like that?
What? Oh, I know. I didn't mean it to be dismissive.
Oh, okay.
I just was like, oh, I know.
We'll get to
I
your
know.
NBA talk.
Is that better?
And more.
Oh,
we did.
Okay.
We did get busy yesterday, and I really feel like Gardner put in some extra work. The 25th anniversary of the O.J. Simpson White Bronco chase happened. We got busy, had a blast on the show. Had Carly and Karen Choi in yesterday. Let's throw it to Gardner as he's our curator of video and historical records for all things Orenthal James Simpson.
We want to attack this.
That's what that stands for.
Yeah,
Oh,
I thought you researched this, Tommy.
I didn't. I just know it's OJ.
his name's
'Cause-
Orenthal.
So number one, we're going to attack this a couple different ways. Tommy wasn't really aware of some of these events and stuff going around at this time, so we gave him homework and some time to kind of look it up and learn himself. And he's going to tell us what he learned here in just a little bit. I wanted to start though with a little video clip from the documentary, June 17th, 1994, just to kind of give us a little bit of a refresher of what was happening that day. A number of sporting events, but obviously the focus was on the white Ford Bronco chase involving A.C. Collins and O.J. Simpson. So this is a clip from that. I can't recommend it highly enough. June 17th, 1994 from 30 for 30. It involves no interviews. It involves no narration. It's roughly an hour long, and it's just taking you through that day and the events of that day. So here is
Surreal, totally surreal.
yeah, just to kind of take us back and to remember what was going on then.
This is AC. I have OJ in the car. Okay, where are you? Please, I'm coming up the 5 freeway. Okay. Right now, we are okay, but you gotta tell the police to just back off. He's still alive, that he got a gun to his head. Okay, hold on a minute. Monica? He just want to see his mother. Let me get him to the house. Okay, hold on a moment. That's all we have. He got a gun to his head. Okay, and what's your name? My name is AC. You know who I am. Damn it. Okay.
The driver of the Bronco indicates the subject is in the vehicle and he is armed and has a gun to his head. All units, stay back behind my unit. All units, stay back behind me. 31 unit, back up a little bit. The guy's got a gun.
Just let me get to my house.
Okay, we're gonna do this.
I swear to you, I'll give you what. I'll give you me. I'll give you my whole body.
Okay.
I need to get to my house.
Okay. We're gonna do that. Just throw the gun out the window.
I can't do that.
We're not gonna bother you. We're gonna let you go up there. Just throw it out the window, please. You're scaring everybody. OJ, you there? Hello?
Let's return to Tom Brokaw for a report on the still developing O.J. Simpson story. And here's Tom at our Manhattan studios. Tom?
Bob, we are witnessing tonight a modern tragedy and drama of Shakespearean proportion being played out live on television. And you can probably believe this in our modern popular television culture. People are going to the freeway, parking their cars, and waving at O.J., we're told, as they drive by.
Look at all the cars on this next bridge, man.
on. Just toss it. It's okay. Hey. Don't. Hey, man, don't. Don't. Juice. Juice, come on. Juice. Juice. Juice.
So that's from
What a
that
surreal
point.
moment.
Yeah.
Good God. I don't know why that still resonates with me still to this day. I don't know. It's something about everything that took place with that car chase, everything we knew about OJ, what we were learning about the murders.
Mm-hmm.
Just everything about that still 25 years later feels like it was an entire movie. It was gosh, it's crazy how I can still remember that moment from 25 years ago.
And in that documentary, I thought some of the stuff that was more interesting. Well, I mean, that's stuff we saw that day, the footage we saw there.
Mm-hmm.
But they show like Bob Costas, like when they're off air, and the conversations that are going on between him and the studio, how they're trying to figure out what to do during all of that. It's just fascinating to see how they handled it. You know, when they're not on television, when they're not right in front of us at that point, to see actually what they were dealing with on their own behind the scenes to try and make whatever was happening work that day. Because they went to a damn split screen during the NBA Finals to show the basketball game and a chase involving a white Ford Bronco. And then just the weird like all over the spectrum, the reactions of the people that are just running around and signs made, and just some people are upset, some people are just
It flipped a switch.
enjoying having the time of their life running to this thing. Like, I mean, was that like the original, like, what's the thing where you have to be involved? You want to fear missing out or whatever, the FOMO. Like
FOMO.
like FOMO might have been born then too. Just the way people reacted to everything that was happening. And I think one thing gets overlooked, because we all remember the chase, but is near the end there, just how close it was to having, just how close OJ was to ending it in that car in the driveway there. Like,
I think it was a perfect storm I think it was a perfect storm of the evolution of media as well. I think we were 2 years removed from Desert Storm, and as many can remember from Desert Storm, that was the first time we kind of had an up close look at how modern warfare was playing out. We were able to see smart bombs hit targets on news television. So CNN, I believe, had just been created 3 years earlier. So the 24-hour news cycle was just revving up, finding its rhythm. And then you have a story like this that brought in race and social status and sports and murder and celebrity and LA. Like, it was a perfect storm. And to that point, it was in the heart of the summer. There were so many other events going on. I believe the World Cup was going on at that time as well.
Yep.
Like, there was just so much happening. And so for that to be the moment, I understood why people got out of their cars on the freeway and had signs. They were truly witnessing something we had never seen in modern media. And you're going to talk about a story that had everything. OJ, I think that's why it still resonates today. OJ represented everything. It represented privilege. It represented class. It represented athletes and sports and the power of celebrity. So it's amazing how that story continues to resonate still to this day.
Yeah, and that day especially.
It's also like 2 months after Kurt Cobain killed himself too.
Oh, wow, that's right.
Yeah.
Well,
wow, that's crazy.
I was talking to my attorney about this the other day, and he brought up,
Wait, are you in trouble again?
No, I just.
Are you?
He
Wait
came
a
to the
second.
local watering hole.
Travis, he hangs out in a bar every day, and he just ate absolute shit on a scooter on his way to his podcast producer job. I think he's drinking again. I think we've found it out, and now he's meeting with attorneys.
Look like it's going to be mid-Gardner media.
But he brought up watching the war on television and that, because we were discussing the pop culture aspect of everything. And just our viewing habits and the media habits that started happening around that time. And you're exactly right, Travis. He brought that up in terms of, he's like, we watched a war on effing television. Like, we watched a war. We watched missiles launch. And that's kind of when it started grabbing us. But then it really,
They cover that in one of my favorite movies, Three Kings. Like that's a
Mm-hmm.
big part of it, right? It's like the reporters fighting over who gets the scoop, right?
Yeah.
It's
and then
insane.
this happens, and it not only just completely grabs us, but it gives birth, as I've said before, to a number of factors in our current pop culture, and that's
It
this
definitely
is-
gave birth to
yeah.
the TMZ culture that we currently have
Yeah.
right now, and it's like it's a gift and a curse. I don't think we have social media. If it wasn't for the OJ chase or the OJ trial, there are so many things that came out of that we currently have today that was born from 25 years ago and that moment, and you still see it to this day. I mean, car chases still are the highest rated thing
Yeah.
I think news programs can show. Like, it's insane
They love
how
that.
we still latch onto that. Yeah.
They love that in severe weather. Like that's
Yeah.
when you know the ratings are gonna.
Yes.
It's like, all right, here we go.
Is that because we want them, like, deep down, we want to be in a chase someday and get away? Like, you're rooting, like, even if it's a terrible person, there's a small part of you that's like, they're going to get away. It's the mouse getting away from the snake.
I think some of it
even
is,
though the snake is doing the right thing.
I think some of it is you can't put yourself in that position. Like it's hard for a lot of people to say how to think that they would end up in a situation like that. So then it's the curiosity of, like, how does a guy end up like this, and what happens? Like, it's the curiosity of it all. I think.
It's the danger
Agreed.
factor because we lost that from
We don't have
so
any.
far ago.
Yeah.
That whenever we see stuff like this,
Well,
we're like, ooh.
It's 25 years removed from, when this all started happening. I put a poll out on Twitter the other day, and with OJ now having a Twitter account,
You mean getting even?
Trev, how quickly did you follow the Twitter account?
I posted a poll simply asking, did OJ Simpson, and I tagged him in it, do it. 98% yes, 2% no. That 2%, I'm assuming, comes from local sportscaster Charlie Tuna
I
Edwards,
was going to say that.
who still believes OJ is not guilty somehow. Tuna, I don't understand.
something white people, something white
Yeah.
people.
God, he didn't know he was protecting his boy.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
That was actually pretty good.
What if OJ responded, Gardner? How do you deal with that?
Run.
Yeah, he's catching you. I don't care if he's in his 70s.
He's there to
still
get
catching you.
even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I stay off the golf courses. He'll never find me that
More memorable, and I think I didn't think we'd have a better saying. Conor McGregor, when he was on the rise up before things went weird, he's not here to take part; he's here to take over. Or OJ, I'm here to get even. Which do you want tattooed on your shoulder? Which means more?
Well, I think the
Here to
OJ
get
one
even.
means more. Yes.
Oh yeah, that strikes more fear in your opponent's eyes, I think.
Yeah.
Like that means you've stuck the knife through the eye and he's still moving
Yeah.
forward. That's
And anytime,
McGregor looks like he can kill you. OJ did kill
Yeah.
somebody.
anytime OJ comes up or something along these lines comes up, it always makes me think of, I don't know, the 1998 ESPYs with Norm Macdonald hosting.
yes.
Oh, yes.
Wait.
And there's Charles Woodson. How about that? What a season he had. Great, man. He became the first defensive player to win the Heisman Trophy. And congratulations, Charles. That is something that no one can ever take away from you. Unless you kill your wife and a waiter, in which case... all bets are off. Just a word of advice.
I want to remind people the Disney property, ESPN, the ESPYs.
He was never asked back to host after that.
I don't think Norm Macdonald was
screw
asked
them.
to do anything else for years. You know what? Technically, I think like a few years later, he did get I did think he got the Norm Macdonald show on ABC for like a season or two. So he did eventually get a major show. But yeah, for a few years, I think Norm Macdonald was told, "Hey man, you may have to lay low for a while because that joke, while you nailed it, isn't going to be able to work."
No,
for me."
screw you. No,
Travis,
screw those
you're-
executives. No. If you're not, you're going to side with the guy who we all have just very quietly agreed, like he probably did it. He did it in a civil suit. No, screw those executives. No, you have to. And if they hide,
it's just
if
for
they
his own
hide under the
well-being,
guys,
though.
yeah, that's fair.
That's
too.
what we're saying.
Yeah.
It's not taking their side. It's, hey, we are concerned
Okay,
about
Right.
Norm.
yeah, all right, yeah, my bad.
Does
Right.
anybody remember when Norm hosted Saturday Night Live and what he said in his monologue? Do you remember that?
No.
He was like, "They fired me, but good news, the show hasn't gotten any better. I'm not going to be a good host, but it's going to be better than normal because I'm here."
That's great. How about?
But still, I wish I should have pulled the video. I wanted to mention this real quick because still, on June 17th, 1994, that documentary, Ken Griffey Jr. is part of that because he was on pace to break Babe Ruth's keeping up with Roger Maris and
Roger
Babe
Maris.
Ruth. Yeah, on that home run chase. I think he hit his 30th home run that day. His 30th home run.
The quickest, I think, a baseball player had
Yeah.
gotten the 30 home runs at that
And
point
they
in the
would
season.
go on to strike that year. But in that video, when he says that joke,
The Montreal Expos were going to win it all that year.
yeah, they were on fire. They show Griffey, and he's just in the audience, and he just goes. Like, he did not laugh. He was like, "Oh my God, you went there."
Oh my God! And now you look at it back.
He
too,
went
it's
there.
like-
That is one of the best jokes of all time.
Yeah.
That's just, the setup is brilliant. It's appropriate because it's a sports show. And then, like, yeah, it was right there. Like, I think Norm Macdonald knew that every comedian in the world would have tackled him outside of that show had he not done that joke. Like, it was right there. It was sitting pretty. It was a nice fastball over the meat of the plate. If he didn't swing, he probably wouldn't be working today. He had to do that joke, and he nailed it.
Oh, so good. From the Black Sheep, the other 2% of people on Gardner's Twitter poll were those dentists who are still skeptical of Trident. All right. He's Googling jokes. Like this is he's reached a funny point where I'm skeptical. I don't know. Black Sheep. Do we think Black Sheep's loading stuff up at this point?
I don't know.
That's pretty funny.
That's good.
That's really
I think it's
funny.
his dad. His dad's the funnier one. So it's definitely his father who's sending him the jokes.
You think so?
It was.
That's how I do mine.
Nice.
It was weird. I was
TM2 texting you jokes.
like when OJ's joining Twitter, like all the Blues Stanley Cup parade stuff is going on. So I took note of my Twitter trends map or whatever they call it.
Outrage map.
Trends for you the other day.
Outrage mount.
And look at the Brett Hull, Stanley Cup parade, John Hamm, Robert Thomas, Vince Dunn, Larry Robinson, Sammy Blake, O.J. Simpson just pops in there out of nowhere at the end. And I had to take a screenshot of that because I'm like, oh, okay, this all makes sense. And I saw O.J. Simpson. I'm like, what the F is going on here?
It shows how they personally throttle and cater because OJ it said 47,000 tweets and John Hamm only had 1,200 tweets. I was like, I don't know.
Anytime I see somebody trending on Twitter, I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, this could be bad.
You don't
Who
know.
said the N-word?
Yeah.
That's generally,
Last
Chris is
summer
right. That's
was-
generally like, who said the N-word or who died? That's the only reason why you're trending these days in America. Did you die? Or did you say the N-word?
Tommy pointed out to me, too, that, now, what's the Broadway show?
Oh, hello.
With John
Mulaney and Nick Kroll.
Nick Kroll. Tommy pointed out that John Mulaney had a nice short little joke in there.
Such a good joke.
About O.J. Simpson and that.
The joke goes.
Well, I have it. I have the clip.
You have the clip? Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Now, you said that.
I got it wrong.
I know. It's okay, though. You said that John Mulaney has like an infatuation with the O.J.
No,
thing.
he does.
He
talks
does?
about it a lot. Yeah.
Okay. So here's from Oh Hello, John Mulaney.
The 1990s. Mad about you. Pesto sauce. O.J. Simpson breaks his 45-year no-killing streak. O.J. Simpson kills those two people so hard, they stop making the Ford Bronco. Can you imagine doing something so fucked up there's no more Toyota Camry?
That's a brilliant joke.
Broncos were a cool vehicle too, man.
That's a brilliant joke.
Birch was in the comments
And they
saying how
have
much
it-
he loved him, man. Birch, our buddy Birch had a '79 Bronco, and I even though it was the older version,
Everybody
I
had a
couldn't
Bronco.
look at
That's
it the
the
same.
funny thing. That is true. It's amazing. Like everyone had a Bronco. Everyone in the hood, certainly in St. Louis, had a Bronco, and so
Well, that
it
just shows
was
how
actually
cool
the
it was
thought.
that OJ had it. I mean, seriously, former professional athlete, millionaire. Yeah.
And then I think the funny thing about it, I think people kind of knew in the moment was like, man, I'm sure the Ford people aren't happy right now with this car chase.
Where was Darren Ravel
And
talking about how much advertising money Ford was making?
Oh, per minute.
see,
that nerd.
see, that's what we need to do. We need to do a retro Darren Ravel Twitter account
Retro
where he
Ravel.
reviews. Retro Ravel. Tommy,
Yeah,
get on it right now. Go to Twitter.
Should
I
I
gotta
Get that
figure out
handle
who
right now.
Ravel
Retro
is.
Ravel.
He's a guy who he's the numbers guy. He's the marketing guy. He's like, whoa, so and so tweeted about hot dogs, and you could expect it's about like them buying a $40,000 worth of Twitter ads since those days.
Should I tweet at
But he's
Ravel
sports-
and
he's
ask him
sports
how
driven.
much money in that time period, how much advertising dollars that
He'll
was
take
worth?
it serious. He'll be like, well, actually,
He'll take it very seriously.
And it doesn't matter. He's just, and he comes across. How does he come across? Because we all liked him
He
for
might
like a
block
month.
me.
We liked him for
Did
like
he?
a month in 2010. He was good on Twitter, and he was a fun follow. And then you were just like, wait, this guy is really annoying, right?
Yeah, I think I forgot what it was or what the incident was, but it was something that was very serious. Everyone was, I forgot what the incident, I don't have the example, but it was something that was very serious. And he, as Gardner pointed out, he basically took the time to talk about the financials of a situation. And people were like, what? We don't need that information right now. Like this person's going through it and you're doing the marketing math and sharing that on Twitter. How out of touch are you? So he's a tool. He's an idiot. And it's a reason why he's no longer with ESPN.
Oh, he's not?
No, he's with a betting,
No.
I think a betting site or something like betting network now. Something along those lines.
Yeah. ESPN got to the point where there's like, all right, there's no reason to keep this guy around. And he comes off very creepy. He's not only just an insensitive guy when it comes to his tweets, but he comes off incredibly creepy. Like, have you seen the way he runs?
Yeah, I was going to say, and then you saw how he runs, and you're like, okay, that's enough.
Yeah,
how do you run?
It's kind of.
Let's not have
I'm not gonna.
Oh
no.
boy, that's not.
Okay.
Oh boy.
I'm not
Tommy,
gonna
should you show us?
I'm not
Can
putting
you show us
myself
what your
in that-
arms do?
Nope.
Nope.
Okay.
I'm not telling you guys anything physical I do anymore.
Oh, he's drawing a line.
Okay.
Well, what about when I get you over to the circus and you have to do the trapeze act?
I'll do that.
Okay.
Today is 2 years. And see, you should have asked me in this interview if I've ever been fired before. Today's the 2-year anniversary since I got fired from Slackers.
How do you get
What'd you
fired
do?
from a
First
job called Slackers?
I don't know if you know how jobs or internships work, but like we can get rid of you at any time. Like, so if you're going, this is Missouri. The way it works, like if you say something that we no longer find to be appealing, like you don't have to come in tomorrow.
You worked at a place called Slackers. Were you working too hard? What was going
That's
on?
the only answer I want to hear from you. I stocked all the albums. And wait, and this was 2 years ago too. What did you tell them? You're obsolete. Like,
No.
did you really just put it in their
Why
face?
were you fired, Tommy?
They didn't tell me.
They didn't tell you?
No, they didn't tell
did.
me.
Come
No,
on.
they really didn't.
Was it that smug attitude of yours?
Do you have a feeling of why?
Did they give you a reason?
There's no reason. I think it was something more along the lines of what he just said.
It was his opinion on the Blue album. Can't you just see that where Tommy works in a super pretentious environment, says the wrong thing, and they're just like,
I guess they got.
I wouldn't.
We didn't care what you said about Dinosaur Jr. in your interview.
They
So.
I love Dinosaur Jr.
Of course you do.
They got tired of him walking in wearing his grandmother's pantsuit or whatever the hell he's wearing.
They didn't like that I didn't hang out with them. That was part of it. And that's the truth.
Is that the most egotistical answer you could possibly hear? That you were fired? Someone was fired because you didn't give them enough of your free time?
Slackers was really weird on that. It's not important because I don't want to
Quite
drag the
important.
business because I'm still friends with a lot of them. But it
Sounds like
Well,
it.
you don't hang out with them.
Slackers? Slackers are still open. It's a thing.
I didn't hang out with the managers.
First of all, there is no shame in being fired from a Slackers. Let's just go ahead and put that out there.
It was a hard job though. It was harder than you'd think.
I bet it was really annoying.
You had to, like,
Deliveries.
alphabetize.
Yeah.
You had to alphabetize the CDs.
We get music record shops promo mail 3 times a week here. It drives me insane, and I'm guessing that's 1/1000th of what they get sent. So I get it.
Once a month, we'd get a shipment in of just like everything, like movies and CDs and pop figures and action figures and comic books, and it was like a truckload of stuff.
Imagine if it was 1996 when all that stuff was still relevant. When it was just nothing but DVDs and VHS. Like, my God. They were living fat back then.
Now, Tommy, we gave you the assignment of trying to educate yourself.
Okay, so
on the OJ.
On OJ.
So, okay.
Quick question, Travis, for you. Were record or CD store and like types of stores like that, were those guys, did they think they were cool whenever albums got up to $23 a CD?
They think they're cool now.
Damn. Now, records are cool.
Specifically, record labels.
90s flair. Yeah. I want 90s CD shops. Did they think they were super cool?
Oh, God. If you worked at a CD shop in a mall, you were
Sam Goody,
the toast of the community. I was like, hey, man, you got that? Hey, man, can you give me that new crisscross on the hookup? Yeah, like, it would be, man, those guys were, like, and they were snobby about it. Like, you would come into the place and try to buy it out. Well, it's not as good as a like, they were live Twitter. They were the live Twitter music snobs.
Do we remember $23 CDs?
Yeah. And that's why I had to send my friend Marcella into the music shop to buy the Mandy Moore CD for me because I didn't want to be judged by them.
I'm so upset Mandy Moore got remarried. I thought that was my second chance at her.
She's too good for you.
Smart.
I heard her on Married.
I will say,
good for all of us.
Yeah, I think that's when.
I miss her.
But that did create but that did give birth to what we now enjoy now as far as streaming, because the labels we as fans knew the labels were getting over. Like, we were getting two good records on a 17-track album, and people were paying, as Chris just pointed out, $23, $24, and people was like, screw that, yo, Napster, come through. And I think
maybe
it's the greatest thing that's ever.
The artists will recover because they are getting their ass beat in streaming money. They do not make any money off that. So, and all the record companies own Spotify, by the way. You're about to fall out of your seat.
I just remembered something. I forgot something.
Oh no.
Do you guys remember the movie High Fidelity?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was an assignment I had to do before I started the job, because they made me watch High Fidelity. That's
like an independent.
Okay. See,
That's
now,
not a joke.
like, I'm trying to think, Travis, if we thought we were so much cooler than what we were, like, what would we assign Tommy? We'd be like, listen, we are the essential podcast.
Yeah, what's the podcast movie? You got to watch that.
Yeah, I was just saying, you need to watch all 4 seasons of Marin on IFC to really understand.
If you want to do We Are Live, you got to watch Airheads.
I ain't farting on no snare drum, man.
That's ridiculous.
That's the movie we would force people to watch.
They're like, you're a very mediocre but lovable film from the 90s? We're like, yeah, that's us.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that until you mentioned it.
Hey, Chris, you're going to work a summer job here at UBS Payne Weber. Why don't you go watch Wall Street?
Right, because that's who we are.
No.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that to my hair. Absolutely not.
Before Tommy's sales part of his internship, he has to watch Wolf of Wall Street. I
haven't seen that.
Required.
I started watching that with my mom.
Don't do that.
Yeah, we got through the first scene and we stopped.
I like hanging out with my parents quite a bit, and we all think things are funny and all those things. And boy, that gets weird still, even at 35. I don't need to see.
He's snorting blow out of a girl's butthole.
We didn't know that's how it was going to start.
No one knew that was how it was going to start.
What did you think? He was going to be in church? Like, come on.
It just seems unsanitary.
We didn't know that was going to be the first scene.
Well,
because if you ease into it with your parents, it's fine.
Oh,
like if it steadily gets worse, you're like, okay, it's fine.
But then you're already watching it. You can't tap out.
Yeah, exactly. But if it starts like that, you're done. You're out. It's over.
Mm-hmm.
How about Black Sheep did an internship with the governor's office, and he was made to watch 50 Shades of Grey. Again, who's writing this stuff?
The CEO is also a fast foodie. Do any of you know what that is?
Okay, the problem is I've found ways to take my emotions and keep them buried and low. All I want to do is go put my elbow through this person's face now. So stop telling me these progressively worse things about this human. Travis, back me up on this. Like, God, Ah!
Yeah,
He
this
was
person's
so
a piece of shit. And
pretentious.
if you can give us his address, would it be
He
very
was-
nice?
He was so pretentious,
and-
but just like about the Whopper. It was great. He had like.
Do we love this guy or do we hate him? Off
No,
description
because he's
alone,
every
he's not a
Twitter
real
egg
person.
on. He's every Twitter egg on social media. That's no way. We hate this guy. We wanna throw him into traffic. Get his address so we can make this happen.
Is he the guy that tells you that Sports Night is better than Seinfeld?
I don't know.
Hey,
Ooh,
I
okay,
knew
hold
I
on
would
now.
get Gardner
You
on
ain't got
that.
calm down now.
you ain't got to be disrespectful, Chris. That's rude.
Yeah.
That's
Hey,
rude, man.
Sports Night was one
That's a
season.
low
It was a
blow.
great. It was a
Going
great
after
show.
Aaron Sorkin vehicles. Come on now.
That ain't necessary. Come on, man. You ain't got to
Hey,
go
man,
out there
hey,
like
hey,
that. That was
hey,
unnecessary.
we're just
Felicity
playing.
Hoffman was in that, damn it.
Yeah.
David Harbour was in it.
Jeez.
He wore
show some
scarves
respect.
in like June.
Yeah, watch it. We can go after Wes Anderson next.
Hey, take it easy.
Yeah, come on now. Jeez.
All right, let's shake it off. Okay,
right.
so Tommy, you you have an introspective on the
Yeah,
OJ issue.
I got a rundown
from a
of what happened.
21-year-old,
I got to run down what
not
happened.
quite as pretentious male.
I got to run down. Yeah, here we go. All
Are
right.
you a slacker?
So for the next week, we're gonna be like, "Hey, you slacking,
Yeah,
Tom?"
slacker Tommy.
Yeah.
Tommy Pebbles.
Denny
Tommy
pointed out
Pibbles.
I was slacking yesterday, so he has a real reason to do that.
Yeah. So no description yesterday.
They're done. One of them's done now.
Yeah. There we go.
So on June 12th of 1994,
Great
OJ.
day.
Yeah.
10 years old that day. I was a decade old.
That was your birthday.
Yeah.
That was also the day Nicole Simpson and Ron Goldman were murdered.
Yeah.
So here you go.
Yep.
What was this with the hand? Oh, there you go.
Happy birthday. And then 5 days later, an arrest warrant was put out for OJ.
Yeah.
And he saw that, and he was like, nah, fuck that, right?
Uh-huh.
And so him and Al Collins jumped into a Bronco because, it's fun with a
What do
friend.
you think was in the CD player of that one? That's a good question now, isn't it?
That
Come
is a good
sail
question
away.
now.
Yeah. Okay, I'm
Yeah,
down with
that
that.
would
I
be
want to know what
great.
Al
I like
Collins and
that.
O.J. Simpson, the soundtrack that they would have had. Did they have a mix CD?
Is the
Probably
only
Red
band
Hot
called
Chili
I Did
Peppers,
It?
right?
Well, that could be fun.
But then okay, so they drive
What if
away.
it's Gloria? What if it's Gloria? What if he's blasting Gloria while doing the car chase? That would make sense.
That would change this rally celebration. Tommy, continue.
So they're driving. And they keep going, but then the police get called. Like I think OJ calls the police on them, and so the police come and they come in pursuit and they flash their lights. You're probably used to that. And then
Cops chasing me?
yeah, or pulling you. Just in
He's the
general.
black one.
So anyway, they're driving and they
You haven't been to St. Charles, have you, Tommy?
no. So not happy. So they're driving and then the police come on them and then they just keep going the speed limit. I guess. I don't
Does
even
that
know.
bother you?
It a little bit. Well, it wasn't just the speed limit because I don't know if it's different in LA, but the speed limit around here is 65 on a highway. They were going 60, which is 5 miles under here. So they were just
Like casual.
yeah. It was like a Sunday drive with my grandparents. They
Yeah.
just were just going, and so they drive and they're going slow, and OJ apparently has a gun
Yeah.
at some point, and he's like,
Did they confirm that it was a loaded?
Yes.
Like it was ready to rock?
yes, because
I think it was loaded.
it was loaded. So I don't know if it was actually up to his head. I don't know if I believe that part, but so he's got this gun, and then Al Collins is like, leave us alone.
Oh, you were thinking about doing a black voice there.
No, I wasn't.
Yes, you were.
No, I wasn't. I'm trying to think. of
Travis,
what-
he was.
I'm
You
trying
saw
to
it.
think of what I'm gonna say next. He was like, "Leave us alone."
Go on.
Oh, God. I wasn't looking, and I looked back at the screen, and I got scared. Sorry, Travis. I didn't mean to
I
have that
wasn't.
reaction.
Anyway, so he's like, "Leave us alone, man." And so
Yeah.
they drive, and they get back to OJ's house, and his kid runs out, and they're like, "Nah, stay inside." And all this happens. Oh, and there were people watching, so that was strange to me. That they heard about it, and then we're like, "All right, let's go," because
Let's all just run
yeah,
out
let's
there
just
and
all
watch.
go because we got nothing better to do. And so
Who do we blame for the passersby? I can't remember. Is this Caucasians?
that's
Is this
what the
the
videos
whites?
mostly looked like. Yeah.
Okay.
It's
all
a
right.
combination.
Yeah.
I mean, this one is.
I mean, it's L.A., so
This-
it's pretty diverse.
Yeah, this one is.
But it is Brentwood. It's like the Clayton of
Yeah.
LA. So
True.
I think you just maybe you could tell what parts of town they were going through by the crowd that was there
Yes.
at that time. Like the video we showed when from that documentary, one of my favorite parts is like this white couple that is like, in despair, it seems, and they turn and run the other way, and this old guy's on like a cell phone wearing a tie and everything, look like a news guy, and they bump him, and he just kind of goes, and then looks to yell. If you notice that in the thing, it was just making me laugh.
So
All white there, yeah.
So they get back to OJ's house, and then there is a 2-hour standoff.
How long was the chase?
It's 2 hours. That was also 2 hours.
Okay.
So it was like 4 hours altogether. It was a 2-hour standoff. Eventually, they get OJ out of the car. Now, here are my 2 favorite facts about what I learned.
Okay.
The first fact is when they got them out of the car, they found $9,000 in Al Cowling's pockets. They got the loaded gun, but then in a duffel bag, there was a fake mustache and goatee with adhesive gel and a passport. That's my favorite part.
A fake. So just the
So it's just a
mustache
fake
and goatee?
mustache and goatee.
But
'Cause,
that
like,
was the first part. I think we realized OJ was full of shit. Like I think that was the first time where we realized you weren't really trying to get back to see your mother. You were trying to head for the border, and then the helicopters discovered where you were, and your alternate plan was to, okay, well maybe they'll at least let me get back to my house. But that's when I think maybe been the first time where we thought OJ was full of shit.
Yeah.
But like what? So this is I wasn't born, but like everybody knew who OJ was, right? Right?
Yeah.
Did he really think that would fool anybody?
Well, like here's
So-
what I don't understand.
Let's explain to who Tommy. Let's say what you. I got something for Tommy after.
Okay.
I might, yeah.
So
I
he
might
has
be
he
missing
has a
something.
passport, right?
Yes. There's
the-
also that, yeah.
The passport has his real name on
It
it,
says
right?
OJ Simpson.
And
on
he's
it.
got the mustache goatee to not look like O.J. Simpson, but your passport says your name is O.J. Simpson. That I don't understand. That the logic there. Like if you're going to try and either have a fake passport, or you don't need the goatee or anything because it says O.J. Simpson on the passport.
Best case scenario is he's walking through the airport and somebody goes, "Is that?"
No, he runs through the airport and hops over luggage. I saw it in a Hertz
Yeah,
commercial.
that was in a Hertz
But he's
commercial.
like, "Is that?"
I bet you in
Is that OJ?
OJ's head, I bet you he was probably thinking that maybe if I get to the border, I slip this guy about, $2,000-$3,000, and he'll just be like, "You never saw me." Like I think the way OJ was thinking, he was thinking probably like one of his characters in the movie. He was thinking, "Oh, I'll just get over to the border, I'll give somebody some money, and I'll be on my way." I'm sure he thought this through.
It'd be great if he had a fake passport that said Nordberg on it. That's all I really wanted.
I don't get it. What were you gonna say?
The Naked Gun.
It's
film.
a Naked Gun reference. You're an idiot.
So I'm actually surprised you haven't seen Naked Gun. Those are pretty. Those are pretty good.
They're on a list.
Yeah. So who do we compare OJ to now? The connotation of what Wayne Brady is, like, oh, friendly, this, that, cheesy a little bit. Wayne Brady's a real performer and all that. So I don't know if that's fair. I'm trying to equate who OJ was in the public eye to what we have now.
But
not like Ryan Seacrest, not quite that wholesome-ish, whatever.
It would be
but
Derek Jeter. It would probably be Derek Jeter.
Yeah,
he
but
did
I don't-
more though.
Jeter's
But Derek
beloved by
Jeter ain't in
everyone.
movies.
Does it even transfer? Because like
Yeah,
we have
true.
social media and stuff now. So like celebrities.
You can't put on the facade quite as easy.
And they're not as big anymore.
True. Like
You
those
don't
The
are-
at
Rock.
that
Maybe The
level.
Rock would be the equivalent then. How about that? How about
the
The Rock?
Rocks.
The Rock.
That's
a
I mean,
lot.
Well, that's better though. I mean,
Yeah, that's more along those lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It's
Because
just
the idea,
interesting.
The Rock is a guy that's beloved, I believe, mostly by everyone, and so it would.
I enjoy.
He's kind of the guy that you think like. That's I think if we were to say who's
Charles
the last
Barkley?
person you would think would commit a crime like this, maybe Barkley, maybe Shaq can fall in that category. Another very
Shaq.
likable personality.
Shaq, yeah, because Barkley.
People love
that's from
Shaq.
Danny
He's been in
Comes,
movies.
Yeah. Barkley.
Yeah, I think
is-
Shaq
is
could be
kind of
probably the guy. Like if you heard Shaq killed somebody today, you'd be like, Okay, Shaq's a lot of things, but Shaq's not a murderer. That was the first thought when we thought about OJ. OJ murder? No, that doesn't make sense.
It's just and with hindsight being what it is, we did not know all the information of someone's life at that point.
Right.
And the
That's right.
background.
Good
and
point.
We
just,
know a lot now.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. We
Yes.
know a lot about people, so I don't know if
Yeah.
it'd be such a surprise.
The part where he's a Hall of Fame football player too, when you're literally one of the
Yeah.
best to ever do something.
Like there are people with OJ in mind, there are athletes now that this is going to sound bad, but there's one in particular I think of. Like if someone told me he just got arrested for murder, I would not be surprised. And there's a couple I can think of.
Yeah.
Give me a couple.
Oh boy.
Yikes.
This is in a
Oh,
completely
boy.
made-up world.
Allegedly.
Where Gardner's
Yes.
opinion
Okay.
is the only
Hypothetically.
thing that's being represented
If
here.
you told me Richie Incognito murdered someone, I would not be surprised. If you told me Jameis Winston murdered someone, I would not be surprised.
I don't know who these people are.
Like
Football players.
if that I woke up and that was the news, I'd be like, yeah. And there are reasons why for each. And I guess I'll leave it at that, even though I've already just said what I said. So
there are a lot of even in 2019, the era of social media, there are plenty of athletes that are incredibly stupid, who have a history of doing stupid things that could absolutely, if someone were to say they did that, I would also have the same reaction, Gardner. It would be, that's crazy. But is it?
yeah, I agree. And now because now we do know a little more as well, like about their histories and everything like that. That's hard to dodge.
All
Now,
right.
what's
I
the
have
other thing?
One more thing.
Okay.
This is my last.
Okay.
Domino's broke world records that night. They broke all.
Yes,
of
they
their
did. I
records.
remember that.
Yeah, that was also something I found really interesting because that's just a weird side effect. I know it was probably because there was
People
other,
didn't want to leave the house. People
Yeah,
didn't want
exactly.
to and didn't want to leave, and they wanted to eat. And like you just mentioned, it was 4 hours long. So people were like, well, shoot, if we're going to be in the house watching this, reality TV show drama, let's order some food.
Was it
Also-
30 minutes or less then still?
Oh no.
Because the guy's like, oh, you
I
made
think
it here in
so.
35, it's free. I'm sorry, I got behind a white Bronco on the freeway and I couldn't get anywhere, all right?
But like, my other thought was when I was thinking about the NBA finals and stuff happening that night, that was before like cell phones and stuff. So like, did those people leave that game and just go, huh, that happens? Like,
I would
like-
imagine so. I would imagine most people at the Garden, maybe word of mouth kind of got around during that time because the finals was taking place perhaps in taking place in New York.
Costas was talking about it. So, I mean, I'm sure
Yeah.
other
Have we
people
talked
might have
about the voicemail Costas got?
Oh, you
I
told
don't
me
know.
about this.
Yeah, I mean, I know that. You know what? Here's what I'll do. We'll take a break.
Get the clip.
I'll pull the
Nice.
clip up from and I posted on my Twitter too yesterday an interview that Bob Ramsey, the late great Brian Burwell, and myself did 5 years ago yesterday with Charlie Steiner.
Wow, that's crazy.
And
For
just
5
some of the
years?
weird pop culture stuff even involved with that. Charlie was the play-by-play voice for the New Jersey Generals while Brian Burwell was working for a New York paper covering the New Jersey Generals, who were owned by the current president of the United States. There's even tie-ins with pop culture and that with those two guys. Like that's how the interview started off with us. What we were talking. I forgot about that, and I'm listening to these things, and I'm like it just this thing never ends with like the tie-ins you can find with even people I know. So it's just fucking weird. That's all.
We'll take a break. Tech Electronics helps us with our wonderful studio, the streaming equipment, the microphones, all that. Also, if your business has security needs, they can help with that. Tech Electronics, big thanks to them. And big thanks to our friends at Gateway Powder Coating. GatewayPowderCoat.com is the website. Check it out for more information on the #1 resource for powder coating in the Midwest. We love working with them. Support them because they support us. It's Chris Denman, Tommy the intern, Chris Gardner.
Chris, I also can I get my plug in as well? Okay, thank you. Travis live from Brooklyn, brought to you by Jose Cuervo Especial. When you're trying to mess up that rusty liver of yours, make sure you get it powder coated with Jose Cuervo.
That's not how
Jose
that works.
Cuervo Especial. When depression really just isn't enough.
Needed to be said. We'll take a quick break. We're live from Midcoast Studios, St. Louis, Missouri. Quick break. We'll be right back.